102 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the high for today. It's like 99 degrees right now. It's 1 o'clock, so we're getting there, but I figured we're still gonna go fishing. If you watched one of my recent videos, this spot is very familiar because there is a spill right next to me. And the reason why I wanted this spot is because, again, it's hot. And so this spot right here just has a bunch of shade. So I just wanted this spot for the shade since we're gonna be fishing during high noon. So just kind of looking here, the water's a lot lower than last time I was here. The water seems a little bit slower too. So I feel like it should provide a little bit easier fishing. Water's super clear. We can see pretty far out there. So you already know the norm. Let's get some night crawlers rigged up and toss them out. Before we settle down with the night crawler, I just want to toss this Ned rig around, see if we can't catch something right off the bat first. There's got to be fish right along the spill again. It's hot, so all that water providing good fresh water and oxygen for these fish. So theoretically, I would assume there'd be fish like just kind of stacked along here. I could be wrong. Should probably check my drag. It's a little loose. Try calmer water first. There still is a little bit of current, so it's not like there's no moving water. There is, but it's just a lot slower than last time. All right, let's just get the ball rolling. Let's just get the night crawlers in the water. Because of how snaggy this spot was last time, today I didn't even bring any lead weights with me. I'm just gonna use rocks as my weight. That way if I lose them, I just lose a rock and not a weight. One, it's cheaper for me, and two, it's healthier for the water. You know, you don't have lead sitting in the water, and I don't have to go buy weights. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna utilize my resources here called rocks. And hopefully with this much calmer water, we don't have too much problems with getting our weight or rock to sit on the bottom. So I got my first candidate for our weight. It's just a nice little rock here. And for my weight leader line, I just pre-tied a uni knot. But before I cinch it, I'm gonna wrap the line around this rock, and then I'll cinch my line just like this. That way our weight can stick on our line. So this is basically my rig. This is called a 3-way rig, and usually people use a 3-way swivel. I don't really care for a 3-way swivel. A 2-way swivel will work just fine as well. So up here, I've got my main line tied to this side of the swivel, and then that other knot right there is actually the line that I use tied to my size 6 bait holder hook with a small piece of night crawler. And then on the other eye of the swivel, this is just my leader that is tied to my rock. One thing you want to do is always make sure your drag is set properly. You don't want it too tight or too loose. I think we'll call it good there. And I don't really know where the fish are, so we're just gonna launch this towards the middle, right there. I am running mono today, so I'm not as afraid of my line cutting on these rocks than I was last time when I was using braid. But hopefully our weight is big enough to stick on the bottom. It's just getting pushed around. I can feel my rock just, oh. Well, it's stuck for a second right there. Oh, that's a fish. That's a fish on. That took like 30 seconds. Wow, hammered it. I was about to go and rig up my second rod, but we already have a fish on. I brought my smaller rod today too, so that these fish would, you know, have a much more fair fight. Ooh, maybe I need to loosen my drag. I'm predicting a sucker fish. It's either a sucker fish or, oh, I was gonna say sucker fish or pike minnow, but I think it's a bass. That's a smallmouth. It's a beautiful smallmouth. Last time when we fished here, we didn't even catch a single bass. But today, our first fish is a bass. That's a good smallmouth right there too. Don't you love a pleasant surprise like that? 30 seconds in. Man, pound for pound, smallmouth are just great fighters. Nice. Man, that's a good smallie. Oh my goodness, that's a really good smallie. Are you kidding me? Right to the roof of the mouth? There's no way he was coming off of that, but I lost my weight. That's a beautiful bronze smallmouth right there. Solid 1.5 pounder. The colors of this fish are just amazing. All right. Oh, there he goes. I was gonna get a nice like shot of him going, but he wanted to go, so right back into the depths he goes. We can say we already broke the skunk, so pressure's off. I lost my weight and I lost my night crawler, so I have to retie, but that's a good trade-off any day. I guess the theory is still proving to be true. I cast it in the middle. My weight got hit down towards the spill over here, and that bass picked it up in like 30 seconds. No joke, the hardest part about using rocks as weight is finding an adequate rock. Now, it looks like there's plenty of rocks here, which there are, but I'm looking for specific shaped rocks where I know they're gonna hold on to my line. But a lot of these ones are just like circle ones like these, and these ones don't hold on to the line very well. So we're kind of on a quest here. You see how there's this little crevice right here? That's a nice spot where our line can hold on to, but that rock is a little too big. But that's like the type of rock or the shape of rocks I want. I just want it to be the right size, which this one, it's a little too round. With all of these rocks, you'd think it'd be pretty easy to find a rock for your weight, but it's not. I guess this one can do okay for one, but we need to find a second one. Look at how big those crayfish claws are. These fish are eating good in this river. They're not the best, but I'm getting hot just finding rocks, so we'll call these two rocks right here good. We are back in business. There goes rod number 1. And here goes rod number 2. Now we sit and we wait once again. We're gonna see how fast we can get a fish bite. I could just feel this one bouncing along the bottom. This is like the most basic type of fishing that anybody can do. Go to a lake or a river, throw on a night crawler, cast it out, just sit down and relax and just wait for the fish to bite. Because the good thing about night crawlers is even the slow fish will hit it. You know, it doesn't require a fish to be really active and really aggressive for them to bite a night crawler. Even the fish that are just slowly cruising through, they'll eventually get to your worm and they'll just say, oh, I want that, so they bite it. But right now, both of my weights are sitting like right in front of that spill just because the water has this like back eddy. And so my baits are getting pushed back to right here. But I mean, that's where I caught the smallmouth, so can never count anything out. Oh, that's a fish. Fish on the drop. I doubled up. I have 2 fish on and they both feel like giants. Doubled up. Which one do we go in for first? We go to the one on the spill. I think this one over here snagged. All right, this is when using 2 rods become a hassle. What are the chances that I get a fish, I get a double at the same exact time? Well, I guess that's the point of a double, but what are the chances of me getting 2 bites at the same time after it's been dead for like 5 minutes? Okay, we're gonna put 1 rod down. We gotta just focus on 1 fish. What is this one? What is that? Whoa, 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 what is this? Pike minnow? Wait, what? What is this? Oh, that's a giant pike minnow. Oh my goodness, that's a giant pike minnow. Giant pike minnow. Oh my goodness. That's a PB pike minnow right there. Oh my goodness. Look at that tank. That's a slob of a pike minnow right there. Oh my goodness. His mouth looks kind of creepy. I'm kind of scared to lip him, but pike minnow don't have teeth, so I'm all right here. But just look at that beast right there. So I know some people are like, kill a pike minnow. I'm just gonna reiterate, in this stretch of the river, there's really no point to just kill a pike minnow. So nice catch, but we got to go to our other rod because I think this rod right here has a fish on too. That's a beast of a pike minnow. All right. My weight is snagged. I hope my weight's the only thing that pops off. Wait. That was weird. Okay, so I somehow lost my hook and my weight. So my weight, I'm pretty sure I just broke it off right there, but I think what happened was the fish took my hook. When my weight was snagged or my rock was snagged, that fish was pulling so hard, he just broke off the hook. Oh, dude. I know it gets annoying when people are like, it's always the big fish that got away. But in that moment, I think I actually like hooked into 2 pretty nice fish. I mean, I landed that first pike minnow, which is like a PB for my pike minnow. But this one over here too, I think that was a nice fish as well. I mean, he broke off the hook by himself. So, and that's 10-pound mono. Not a lot of fish can break off 10-pound mono by itself. So this rod is 242 right in front of this spill. So we're just gonna leave it right back in the same spot. Don't change what's not broken. This rod got a hit as soon as it dropped right into that current because I figured, oh, I think this is a hit. I figured the fish were gonna be hanging out in that faster water because it's just a lot more cooler in that faster current and they can breathe better. Oh, this is a fish. This has gotta be a fish. Just in case any of you think that what I'm doing is expensive, it's not. This is like the least expensive type of fishing I'm doing. all summer long, and I'll show you here momentarily. Fishing line, Zebco Omniflex. This is like a $2 reel for 700 yards of line. And then my hook, Eagle Claw, size 6, plain shank hooks. And then this rod right here with the reel is just a combo for like 30 bucks. Super inexpensive. And then my other rod over here, Ugly Stick with a $30 die wall reel. So everything I'm using here is relatively inexpensive, so just kind of proves a point, you know? Fishing doesn't take all that much money to just get started. And you could be catching fish like this. So we're almost back in the game with 2 rods. I just got done re-rigging this other rod, but that rod's been kind of quiet. I'm moving, but I am just following the shade line, because just like us, when it's hot like this, fish will also congregate towards shaded areas where it's just cooler. But I'm not doing this for the fish, I'm doing this for myself. I'm just finding shaded areas so I don't burn. This right here looks like Snag Central. Nice big boulder. There could be some fish that are using these boulders right here to stack up along, but I don't want to lose my rigs. So we're just gonna keep on trekking, keep on moving. Hopefully the water's not as fast as I'm anticipating here, so that my rod can actually stay on the bottom. So we'll just test it out here. If we don't catch something in the middle of the channel of the river, which is like right here, something's wrong, or I just suck at fishing. If anything, it's probably gonna be the latter of the two, which I'm all right with that. We've only caught 2 fish today. We've been out here for like 2 hours. That was probably the sweetest banana I've ever ate in my life. It's to the point where it tasted more like candy than a banana. We got a fish on here. Yep. We got a fish on. Just casted this out. Had to swap out some GoPro batteries. And I looked behind me, my rod was just about to fly in the water. This rod is the one with a big old rock on there as my weight, so that rock is giving this fish extra weight. What is that? Pike minnow? Yep. Another pike minnow. I will gladly take that. I've been on a drought, so any little fish at this point I'd be more than happy to take. They always bite when you change your GoPro batteries, so it's a nice pike minnow right there. Just another pike minnow. This one's a lot more pretty than the other one. It is so hot. I don't even want to like move my cameras around anymore. So you bring a lot of water. Make sure you have adequate water for how long you're planning to stay. If I'm being honest though, that cast that I just caught, that pike minnow, I didn't even cast that far. I casted it like that. Despite not having a lot of action, I'm actually pretty surprised that we are still having some kind of action. We are fishing arguably the worst time of day because it is like 102 degrees right now. It is so hot. The fish are thinking the same thing I am, where they just don't want to move. They just want to find a cool spot in the water and just not move. And considering the fact that we're still catching fish during this time of the day, you know, it gives me hope. Because if I do decide to stay until evening and the sun sets, where the fishing starts to pick back up again, I'm imagining that we're gonna have a much better end to our day than us starting. So we'll just grind it through. 3 fish so far in the heat of the day. We'll just grind it through and see what happens. My least favorite part is just the re-rigging. It's just so snaggy here. When your weight sticks a little too good, it is definitely too good to be true. Dang it. Come on. Just break. Thank you. Just gonna throw my Ned rig around. It's a sign, I think. Oh, that was a hit. Oh, that was a fish. That's a fish. Okay, okay. We got a hit on the Ned rig. Okay. Right over here. I don't know what fish that was, but that was definitely a fish. Hit it a couple times. That's a fish. Fish on. Downsize to the smallest Ned rig I have. Of course, it's a tiny smallmouth. This is why we couldn't get them in the first place. They were too small. But I don't know how that first one didn't get him, because look how he just choked it. Super small guy, but it looks very healthy. I knew there were little bass in here. I just didn't think they were gonna be this small, especially with, oh, this, he choked it too. Nice little smallmouth. I knew the Ned rig was gonna produce at some point. Let him go. These smallies in here are very healthy looking, which is good to know. See, I wasn't tripping. All those other hits on my other Ned rig were actually fish. They just weren't big enough to eat it. Oh my God. Gosh. Fish on. Oh. What the heck? He almost took my rod. Man, I just heard my drag on this thing start going. Another pike minnow. Jeez, aggressive. Aggressive, aggressive, aggressive. Wow. That's another nice pike minnow. Broke off my weight too. Yeah, this cast, I didn't even cast it that far because the pike minnow that I've been catching, they've been like relatively close in front of me. And it proved to work again. Don't need to cast it that far. I've been on a drought, and as soon as I cut that little smallmouth, seems like the fish is picking back up again. There's another nice pike minnow. Gorgeous. That's their mouth. Healthy looking pike minnow. Oh, horrible release, but he didn't let me release him gently. That's his fault, not mine. Yeah, I let it sink for too long. There goes casualty number 2 for the Ned rig. I guess that's gonna conclude it for this short 5-hour outing. I'm gonna be honest, I really did not even want to come out today, but I just know that if I didn't come out today, that the week was only getting hotter. And so today was the coolest day in the next like 7 days to do anything. And next Monday is already hunting season, so I figured I needed one more fishing trip before we go full-blown fall hunting season. So I'm done. I am quite burnt out, literally. So I'm gonna call it good here. Just a fun outing on the river. Was expecting to do a little bit better, but we caught our PB pike minnow, so no complaints. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.